I'm gone and you're all alone. Can't you hear the echo? No one to hear you, it's nobody near you. It started off great, but who was
What is good, everybody? Welcome back to a brand new edition of Boogie the Bell. That was a banger to start the show.
That was fire. Shout out. That was like throwback to elementary school, dog. I can't even think of the guy's name.
Gorillazo. Got to look it up. Shout out to Gorillazo, man. But anyways, more important than that, it is a brand new edition of Boogie and the Bell. Boogie, most important thing is how are you doing today?
Hey, man, it's been a long day, but this is my highlight. Been looking forward talking to some sports with you, bro. So I'm here. Let's get it.
And let me just say this, Boogie. We are grown ass men. I am tired. We are still chasing our dreams. We are taking care of our realities. My back, I've been having back issues for a long time, but you know what? It ain't going to stop us from putting out a great quality episode. With that being said, like you just said, let's get right into it. We're going to start with our NFL mock draft. We're going to start with our order. We're going to do 1 through 10 today. We got some things to say, man. So we're going to do 1 through 10. I'm going to blitz through them real quick for you, Boogie. At number 1, the Tennessee Titans. I'll get a quarterback. Cleveland Browns, number 2. New York Giants, number 3. They're going to mess up this draft so bad. Number 4, New England Patriots. Number 5, Jacksonville Jaguars. I'm very excited about that pick. Number 6, Las Vegas Raiders. Who isn't excited about that draft pick? They really fumbled that. Number 7, the New York Jets. Number 8, the Carolina Panthers. Number 9, the New Orleans Saints. Number 10, the Chicago Bears. Boogie, before we go through our mock, who would you say has a lot depending on this first 10 picks?
A lot depending on the first 10 picks.
That's the right word, but I think you know what I'm trying to say. A lot riding on this first 10.
I mean, obviously all these teams didn't do great last season. That's why they're drafting so high. But I think the team that has the most to gain or potentially lose out on is the New York Giants. New York Giants at number 3. I think they have, I don't know, a lot of people are on the hot seat. GM's on the hot seat. We ain't forget about fumbling Saquon. Head coach Brian Daboll, he was a good coach, but it hasn't been looking good in New York. Quarterback issues. Obviously got rid of Daniel Jones, so who's going to be quarterback there? They signed Russell Wilson, who seems like a Band-Aid, but not an actual remedy to the problem. So yeah, I think New York. I think if they nail this pick out of the park and have a plan, it could do wonders for them. But if you mess this pick up, I think GM and coach are gone. GM and coach are gone, and you're stuck in purgatory for another year, wasting the youth of the talent that is on the team. So yeah, I think it's the Giants.
The cool part about having youth and talent on the team is that, generally speaking, all they really need is a good quarterback to lead, or at least a good quarterback to help develop the team. I'll answer the question. I agree with you. I think New York Giants are my number 1. I actually do think the Las Vegas Raiders. I think, how long have we been in Vegas? For
4 or 5 years?
We're ready for a good Raiders season. I'm saying that as somebody who is an owner of the AFC West and the Denver Broncos. My partial ownership in their stake. But I'm ready to see the Raiders do something, and obviously they didn't put themselves in the best position to get a quarterback, which they still might be able to get something. They still might be able to snag something. I want them to get a pick that actually changes their season, or at least what we believe that they're going to be in the next couple of years. They're my number 2, and then my number 3, this one's going to shock you. I am actually going to say the Carolina Panthers. I think people are overlooking how the Carolina Panthers had a slight comeback at the end of the year as far as faith and hope inside of their quarterback and inside of their team, most importantly. I mean, they took the Chiefs toe-to-toe. They were playing better. Bryce Young came back from something that I don't know if we've seen too many quarterbacks come back from, right? A lot of quarterbacks do need a new situation. He got it on the same team in the same season and maximized on it. I really do believe that a lot of pieces away, but they could use this number 8 slot to get hopefully like their Von Miller. I don't know exactly what their team needs. Maybe like just somebody polarizing. Maybe like a polarizing receiver, a polarizing running back, just a polarizing. The best safety in the draft. Shit, the best left tackle in the draft. They just need somebody who's polarizing. Because if you're gonna rescue this quarterback, I really want to see you guys do something with the roster that's like huge. Like I would love for them to get Travis Hunter. You know why? Because he takes pressure off of Bryce Young on both sides. Guess what they're not going to get, though? Travis Hunter.
He's not falling that far. He's
Not
not.
even close. But yeah, go ahead.
Panthers, I agree, but I feel like it's not a make or break year for them. Like I think, all right, worst case scenario, it's terrible. Bryce Young is not it, and next year you just draft another quarterback. But I think this is. I mean, at 8, you obviously don't get the top prospects, but you can get a really good piece. I think they need a lot of defense, like D line, secondary. They need a lot of defensive support. So I think your point, they could get the number 1 safety on the board, number 2 corner on the board. They could easily get that. So.
But just imagine like a up and coming Von Miller. I just think that they're like one polar, which is funny because that's who completely ruined their Super Bowl dreams. I just think one polarizing player on defense or offense, or I mean, of course, everybody wants a Travis Hunter on their team where it's just like we're tuning in just to see what his stats were. They just need one of those to take a lot of pressure off of Bryce Young, or else we might run into the exact same thing next year where there's nobody else to put anything on besides the quarterback who's not being protected, probably not in that good of a system. I just want one polarizing player, and I don't think Thielen. I don't even know if Thielen's still there.
I think he is. Yeah, I think they restructured his deal so he'd stay.
I just want somebody could stay. I want that for him, and you know who else I want that for? LaMelo Ball. I just need they need another polarizing piece. I'm just trying to get at my Charlotte people.
Whoa.
I'm just saying Charlotte just needs 2 more polarizing characters. NFL, NBA. That's all I'm saying. But anyways, we're talking about the NFL. You got anything else on somebody who needs something big? My big one is New York. Also, I wanted to add on to New York. New York, just because if you're going to invest into Russell Wilson, you're not investing into a Super Bowl. You're investing into a quarterback who's going to get the job done. So what do you do with the number 3 pick? Because I don't see a quarterback in this draft that mimics Russell Wilson's play. Now, if they know what we don't and that these quarterbacks are not going to help them get to where they want to go and whatever analytics they're doing to do that, God bless you. What if they really are like Cam Ward's not the guy? What if they really are like Shador Sanders is not the guy? And then what old boy from Ole Miss, I think he's like a hot topic in the
Jackson Dart.
Yeah, he's a hot topic. I've been hearing about him. I didn't really pay Ole Miss. I didn't watch too much SEC last year. It was definitely a fall off year. Bro, like, okay. So like what do you guys want out of next season? Maybe they just need some veteranship. They need somebody who's going to throw for 200 yards, 2 touchdowns, 1 interception, and they're ready to go 10-7, but honestly 9-8. I'm okay with that. But the moves that they've been doing does not make me think they're investing too heavily into this draft for the future, which is weird because you have the number 3 slot. So that they were my number 1.
I mean, you have Russ in there. Russ can do exactly what he did for the Steelers, which is provide you some stability, not take you over the top, not keep you in the trenches, give you some stability at the position, which New York could need. But I saw the signing of Russ. I think your backup should match your starter unless your backup is going to eventually be your starter. So I don't think seeing no parallel between the top QBs and Russell Wilson means they won't draft a quarterback. I think it makes sense just to say, hey, you have a trusted veteran who will bring you stability. So let's say your rookie who you draft high isn't ready or doesn't look like he's ready at the end of camp. Okay, fine. He is the backup, and you have Russell Wilson who will, again, provide stability until the backup is ready. And so I still see that move regardless of who they draft.
And I think Russell's already made it a thing where it's like, I'm the starter. I'm coming here planning to start. And I don't know, man. What the hell are they going to draft, Bug? You really think they're going to take one of these two quarterbacks? I think that they're making a clear symbol that they don't want one of those quarterbacks. Well, I don't think they're going to get them, but I think they're making a strong.
What, you think they're going 1 and 2? I don't know. For some reason, I don't buy on the Browns taking a quarterback. I don't buy it.
I don't buy on Shador going top 3.
I could see it happening. I could see Shador going top 3. I could also see the Giants not using a first round pick on a quarterback and then drafting a second round talent like a development guy like a Jalen Milroe or a Quinn Ewers. I could see them doing that later.
Russell. That's one thing I love. I would love to say Jalen Milroe.
I could see that, but I could see them taking Shador. I could see it.
Mm-hmm. All right. Well, that at least takes us to our mock draft. So, El Boogie, if you would like to give, you want to do 5 or you want to do 10? 10 might be a little hard.
We'll do first 5.
All right. So, first 5, you tell me what they need, who they should take, and what that's it. Who they need and what they should take. Starting with number 1, the Tennessee Titans.
Tennessee Titans, obviously, they need a quarterback. I think right now they have Will Levis still on the roster, but I don't think anyone was impressed with what Will Levis has done so far. I think that experiment is over. He's a capable backup at this point, so they definitely have a void at QB. They definitely have a void in their secondary, kind of at safety, maybe linebacker depth, maybe a pass rusher. They've invested a lot in the O-line, so I don't want to see them go O-line, at least not in the first round. And maybe a wide receiver, maybe. Honestly, I'm kind of surprised that Aaron Rodgers was never really brought up for the Titans. It doesn't. I mean, I'm kind of I can see why Aaron Rodgers may not want Tennessee, but Tennessee should have definitely looked into Aaron Rodgers just to fill that void and then use that number 1 overall pick to either acquire more picks or get, a Travis Hunter. But we'll see. But either way, they have a lot of needs. I think they're going to go Cam Ward just because we haven't seen them make any offseason moves for quarterback. And Cam Ward he's looking like the QB1 of the draft. So position of need, high-rated talent. And I do believe draft a quarterback because then that buys you more time as a coach, as a staff. You get more time because no one expects a rookie to be great. You think quarterbacks take 2 or 3 years to kind of hit their stride, so that buys you time. So Cam Ward.
Yep, I'm gonna meet you there, and I'm gonna go Cam Ward. I don't got too much behind it. I just think he's not the best player coming out of this draft. I do think that's Travis Hunter, but we'll get there.
Best player.
Yeah, best player. I don't think he's the best player, but it is a very quarterback-driven league where your QB does determine a lot of your season. So with that said, I'm cool with Cam Ward. I mean, Cam Ward could go number 1. I don't think the Titans are dying for a quarterback, but they're not dying to keep the quarterback that they had. They obviously didn't pick up a quarterback in free agency. I would love for Cam Ward to be behind. Okay, let's just keep that. Cam Ward, I think he's gonna have a solid rookie year. I think he's strong. I think he could handle being sacked by the bigger boys, even though he comes from Florida, so them boys was big already. But it's gonna be a lot faster in the league. It is gonna be more athletic. I think he's just fine there. I do see him starting week 1, so there's that. All right, number 2, the Cleveland Browns. Oh, Boogie.
Cleveland Browns. Obviously, they need a quarterback. They could use some.
Here. I think 50.
Bro, and what they've done is they've kicked the can down the road. So this year they've lowered his cap number. Next year, his cap number is $85 million.
That's like a part of the team's entire cap? Like to do anything?
His cap hit is $85 million for next season.
So double of what Russell did to the Broncos.
Well, the Broncos tried to split it because they cut him and then split it between last year and this year. Okay. But what they've done is they've taken the cap and just continually kicked it down the road. And now he's on contract for 2025 and 2026. So that 2026 cap number is ugly. So yeah, this is kind of I could see them going a lot of different routes. I could see them drafting a quarterback because I don't think anyone thinks Deshaun Watson is the answer. But you just can't get out of that contract. Like you have to sit there and you have to pay that man. Like honestly, because even if you release him, you're screwed. So I don't see them drafting a quarterback just because. Even if they did, they understand that Deshaun's going to eat so much of their cap. They're not going to build a quality roster around a rookie quarterback anyway. So I think, okay, you're at number two. Either trade down and acquire picks so in the future you can build, or get, either a Travis Hunter or an Abdul Carter. I see them going Abdul Carter just because I think there's higher priority on pass rushers compared to a corner wide receiver. So I say Abdul Carter, Penn State.
Okay. I don't know, but I like. What position did you just say?
Edge or defensive end, whichever.
Jesus. I'm gonna go. I'm gonna go Abdul Carter, man. He got all the hype out of Penn State. They don't need a quarterback.
I mean, who's the answer? They have Deshaun Watson. I mean, they did trade for Kenny Pickett, so I guess you could have Kenny Pickett be your starter. I also forgot Deshaun Watson, since he retore his Achilles, he's probably not even going to be ready for the start of the NFL season. He may not even play at all this season. It's kind of up in the air. So right now,
I guess
Kenny
I'm
Pickett
not
is
trying
the
to manifest.
QB1.
I'm really not trying to manifest Shador to Cleveland. Like I do want him to be in a better market. I don't think it's a good fit. Who's their WR1? Is it still
Judy.
Oh my god. Yeah, I do not. And Jerry Judy went crazy last year. Don't get me wrong. I just don't want Shador to start his career there.
I mean, I just think at two, you're at such a high. That pick is so valuable. I don't think there's a wide receiver worth being drafted at two. They need a running back because Nick Chubb is a free agent still. And again, I would not take a running back at two. I don't think any of the. Maybe you could say O line, but that feels like a. That's why I think trading back for them makes the most sense.
I'm
Honestly,
gonna say
acquire more picks.
Abdul Carter, because guess what it does? It makes that D line so nasty. The
Yeah,
crazier you make the D line, maybe you could draw more interest and actually get more stops and actually have a more successful season and take a lot of pressure off for whatever quarterback they get to start next year. I think they have one of the nastiest D lines next year. I think this rookie goes crazy. You know why? Because he already has a strong D line to rush off of. So let's go Abdul Carter. All right, my bad. I took my time there just because I just cannot do that to Shador. With that being said, number 3, L Boogie, the most important pick to both of us. I mean, for those teams, there's a lot riding on these picks. We got the New York Giants. Who you got?
I got the New York Giants going quarterback Quinn Ewers. I'm just kidding. I'm kidding. Shador Sanders. I think they're going to go Shador Sanders.
I
Again,
like
position of needs. He can wait. Big market, big personality. I think it makes sense. And it buys the coaching staff and the GM at least 2 years of margin.
Yeah, I like that market for him. I do want Travis to go there because I think it'd be cool to see Malik Neighbors and Travis Hunter on the same team. I think that'd be really fire, actually, the more I think about it. I'd rather see man, just imagine Russell Wilson scrambling and having Malik Neighbors or Travis Hunter to throw it up to. Like, don't you think that's just gonna work a lot better? No. Travis Hunter, number 3. Travis Hunter. Travis Hunter saves the tail end career of Russell Wilson. It's a Colorado dream.
Okay, but my thing is with Travis as a receiver, I don't know. I feel like he's best utilized in the slot. All right, let me rephrase.
Sure.
My issue. I think him and Malik Neighbors, from a receiver perspective, are a little too similar.
But who's your quarterback? Remember, your quarterback's rolling out. So if he rolls out left, Malik Neighbors.
rolling out by
Oh,
time.
wow.
How many times?
Travis
How
Hunter.
many times did we see Travis Hunter be a deep threat? We saw him catch a lot of short or intermediate passes and then work his magic.
And
Not
that's really good
let me
for
chuck it up 50 yards and that's not
now.
what we.
Who
That
needs a
wasn't his
check
skill
down
set.
more than Russell Wilson though? So if he's a check down receiver, guess who that's good for? You know what? I know what the Giants are doing. They're going Travis Hunter. I just figured it out. They got a good check down and they got a perfect receiver, better than Cortland Sutton or who's the old boy for the Steelers? Who
George Pickens.
yes. They better than the both of those guys. I think Malik Neighbors outperforms them in that scheme offense in the rollout. For real. Oh yeah, that play action's about to go stupid. They're going Travis Hunter. And they get a doggone defense. I do think he's going to be a specialty on offense, but I don't know how I just did this. I just figured it out.
The Giants are listening.
Oh, wrong one. Thank you. I think so, El Boogie. I think they go Travis Hunter. Now, okay, so we're finally splitting up, El Boogie. We're split.
We're separating. Yeah.
Number 4.
I do not have Travis at 3.
I love this because I know who I got at number 4. Number 4, El Boogie. Who do you got?
I still don't have Travis at 4 for a reason. I have I see the Patriots investing in O-line to protect their quarterback. I think Drake May took some hits last year, so I have them either going with like Will Campbell out of LSU or there's a tackle out of Texas who was pretty good. Whoever is their highest rated tackle, I think that's what the Patriots are going to do.
Highest rated tackle. All right, I'm gonna go Shador Sanders.
Bro, be for real.
Drop Drake May. They go Shador Sanders. You know why? Hear me out.
Why?
Go Shador Sanders? Because you'll be redeveloping the same legacy as Timothy Brady. They're going to try the Tom Brady.
I don't think his name is Timothy. I don't think his name is Timothy.
They're going to try the Tom Brady method. So Tom Brady actually trained Shador for a lot of years, personal one-on-one time. His style isn't what I would say absolutely similar, but definitely similar in shape and speed. Definitely downfield, amazing vision, clutch. I think that they switch it up and go with the black Tom Brady. A future GOAT in the making. I really do think that. So I am going to go off the win. If not, I do got you with a tackle. I do think they need to invest into protecting Drake May more. I think he had highlights. Whenever they played a sorry team, it was a good game. And I think that he got a lot of good experience last year. So investing into a better offensive line for him to be able to move around and develop even more for next year, I think that's huge. So Shador Sanders, if not tackle.
I don't know why on earth they would take another top 4 pick and draft a quarterback when your first quarterback wasn't bad.
He wasn't great.
Why would they do that? It wasn't bad. He was a rookie. He was a rookie on a shitty team or bad team. Like I gotta disagree with you, Bell. That one's kind of crazy. That one's like actually pretty crazy. But I guess I could see it in the sense that if you really loved Shador and then you traded Drake May for like if you got a future first for Drake May, then maybe. But I don't see it. I really
just
don't
feel
see
like
it.
Drake May's too early. I just don't know if they do that like that in this league. Like you don't want to miss out on anything just jumping the gun too fast. But that's
like the equivalent of what the Cardinals did when they drafted Josh Rosen in the first round one year and then Kyler Murray the next. The only difference is Josh Rosen was buns, like pure buns, and they upgraded. Drake May wasn't pure buns. He was good on a bad team, or at least he showed good flashes on a bad team.
He showed good flashes. I'll give that to him. I'm still not sold on him, not over a Shador, but. I mean,
gotta give him another year.
If your off season's going great, leave Shador alone. I got Shador simply because he's gonna be at my number 4. Now, Jacksonville Jaguar. I'm so mad for what you're about to say because I think I know. Jacksonville Jaguars, number 5, last pick of the night.
Mr. Heisman, Travis Hunter, corner wide receiver to the Jacksonville Jaguars. I think secondary is one of their big needs aside from offensive line. He can play part-time receiver, have a nice tandem with him and Brian Thomas Jr. I think that'd be nice. I think another weapon for Trevor Lawrence, and again boosting that secondary that really needs help.
No, no.
Okay. Well, you already had Travis Hunter off the board, so who are you
Yeah, I
going?
got Travis Hunter off the board. I think I got them. Who's the best receiver on the board? Nobody.
I don't think anybody's worth 5
Yeah.
personally.
Defense. You got any safeties? Safety's so tough for 5.
Safety at 5 either. I've seen some that have like Mason Graham. He's like a defensive lineman from Michigan. But again, if Travis Hunter is there at 5, why don't you take him? Why wouldn't you take him?
Yeah,
So
I
that's
would
my
pick Travis Hunter. There's no reason not to pick him up. Because what's funny is that I'm like they need somebody dominant on defense, somebody that takes attention away from that offense, whether they're good or bad next year. And guess who that guy is? The guy who can play both sides of the ball, who probably helps both. I just don't want to see that career go that way. But I do think he makes Trevor Lawrence a better quarterback. So I'm not gonna say Travis Hunter because he's already off my board, but I'm gonna say the best receiver or safety on the board, which I don't even know who those two are. So I kind of just did everybody here.
receivers a split. Maybe like Tet McMillan or I don't know. Wide receiver. It's not a strong wide receiver draft in my opinion.
I just feel like they need somebody polarizing, which we all know who that's going to be if he ends up at 5. So shout out Abdul Carter because it's like he's going to be the quiet top pick. And I think he's probably going to have the most impact out of all of them, especially if he goes
I
to
mean,
Cleveland.
did you see their last playoff game? I forgot who they were playing against, but he was injured. Like he literally could only use one arm, and he was bullying them, like bullying them. It's like he's got potential for sure.
Okay. All right. Moving on to our last segment of the night, El Boogie. Apparently, we only have 2 weeks left in the NBA season, and neither of us care. So, with that said, we could do the current state of the NBA moving into the playoffs and our hot topics for who we think is gonna move down these playoffs pretty nice and easy. Who are strong about
Well,
the playoffs?
well, before we do that, there actually is some news, some crazy news that either happened Friday or over the weekend.
What was
The
that?
Memphis Grizzlies fired their head coach. Currently, the Grizzlies are sitting at, I think they're the 5th seed right now. Yeah, they're the 5th seed in the West. If things went right, they could probably do as best as 3rd. At one point, they were 2nd, having a good season by all standards, right? And they fired their head coach 2 weeks before the playoffs. Does that not seem weird? And there's been like no like announcement of what happened. They just fired him.
Have you seen Running Point on Netflix?
No.
This is giving me like the most Running Point thing, but it's basically it's actually it seems allegedly it seems like it's about Jeannie Buss. But it's like this alternative world where there's a basketball association and the daughter of a billionaire becomes president after he dies and the brother loses the job. Basically that's the show. But anyway, so like it's all the wild stuff that actually happens. Like you know how we all work for jobs, we all live life, but we all put a mask on when we go to work and we're all real people at the end of the day who might get drunk and beat up a security guard, right? Like we're all capable of anything. If everything's not as beautiful as image makes it seem. That's what this sounds like. Obviously, something happened in the locker room. It doesn't. They're not having a season where they're not doing a lot better than when they were just butt last year. You remember how booty they were last year after Ja got dropped.
But
I don't
again,
know.
you were number 2 in the West at one point. Like
Well,
an objectively good
people have been
season.
internal. Don't forget, this league has had people sleep with each other's wives. You know what I mean? Like,
I just think it's crazy. Like, and it's the fact that there is no reveal of what the scandal was or what the beef was. There's been nothing. It was
that
just
leads me to believe that there is
we're
one.
firing him.
That only helps you believe that there was one and is one and still actively going on. I haven't did any media runs for them. Like I haven't seen how the players feel or anything like that. I'm sure we could find a video that might allude to something. But yeah, that's the first time I'm hearing this story. So I don't know. I'm ready to hear Stephen A. I'm ready to hear the pros yell and scream about it. But this close to the playoffs just lets me know that they don't have championship aspirations this year, which I don't know if anybody's kind of considered them. They're in the running, but I don't know. They're not the strongest built team, and they got a recovering jaw. So yeah, it's strange. It sounds like something happened behind the scenes, because we don't know. Um, I don't know. What do you think?
I think I don't even know. He might have said the N word or something. I don't know. I just can't. I don't know much about the guy, but like he must have did something crazy. He's been the coach for 4 or 5 years, and they've been to the playoffs 3 or 4 of those years. So again, not an objectively bad coach, not having an objectively bad season, and you fire him right before the playoffs. And the Grizzlies are, they're at a tweener stage. They have some young talent, but also some slightly seasoned talent. So they're not a young team. But
It's a
again, like,
recovery year.
but how can it be a recovery year when, again, go back a couple weeks, they were the number 2 seed.
Yeah, but they are recovering from their star being a gangster and being injured.
We gotta let that go.
No, that's
What
huge.
what
They were the
well,
worst
what,
team
but
in the
what
league
we
last year.
but what we had seen throughout this season was, okay, we've all moved past that. That stuff with Ja, that was 2 seasons ago. That was 2 seasons ago. Last year was the, okay, Ja's back, and then unfortunately he got hurt after like 20 or 30 games. And now they're, all right, this was them moving on. I don't think there was any, we're still reeling from that. This was their, like, we are ready to go. We're good. Let's do it. And they were doing it. Not, I'm saying, I agree with you. They weren't a championship contender.
That's all I'm saying.
They weren't a championship contender, but they were a good team with momentum. All right, one year you're the 5th or 4th seed, the next year you're a contender. That makes
Not to be
sense.
disrespectful, but we're not talking about a championship team. Is it crazy that your coach is non-existent on the team right now? Yes, but does it matter in the grand scheme? We'll see next season, right? Where it's like, why did your coach actually leave? Was it a player issue? Was it a personal issue? Was it a management issue? That won't matter until next year, because I don't see this team winning the finals. And I see them having probably a lot of controversy over the summer, or it's about to drop Monday. Guess what happens when something happens on Friday? Some shit might come out about it on Monday. So I think we definitely got to stay tuned with that. And with that being said, well, let's stick with the West. Like, who do you? I mean, we don't care about NBA. Well, I didn't even hear about this drama. I'm like, I didn't get. Ugh. But I mean, go ahead out the West. Who's your powerhouses? We got 2 weeks left, El Boogie.
Powerhouses. I think the Thunder are legit. The Thunder are legit. I think they are bound to be in the Western Conference Finals for sure. They're just a good team. A good team that plays with energy. They play young. They got good chemistry between the players. There's not a ton of reason not to like the Thunder. So obviously them. The Rockets are ascending. Again, a young team, kind of playing above expectations, but they look really good, and they're playing their best basketball right now, which that really, really matters. So I think the Rockets are a second round team for sure. The Nuggets have me concerned, just because I think Jamal and Jokic have been taking some time off just to kind of manage some smaller injuries. They haven't been in the lineup every game. They've been split the last 10 games. So again, what worries me about them is just the momentum. I think they're making the right moves to try to get healthy for the playoffs, but it's a momentum thing, and that's what doesn't make me comfy. And same story with the Lakers. LeBron getting hurt, having to miss a couple weeks. Their young team have been balling, which has been good. So I think when he's reinserted, they'll kind of pick up right where they left off. But again, a good team, but you need momentum. Momentum matters so much. But those 4 teams, I'd say they're a serious team. And then I like the Warriors. I think the Warriors could be like a sneaky team that could pull off an upset. Hopefully not against the Nuggets.
Yeah, hopefully not against the Nuggets, but I see an upset in their future. I definitely like them. I did the best we could get is a Lakers Warriors round 1. Fire.
That'd be a pretty good one. I would like that. I like that one.
and I do got the Lakers passing them there. I don't have the Lakers being a championship team just based off of the way their roster is constructed. Um, they need more time. They just need more time. Do I think LeBron could help Luka win a championship next year? Yes, they just need maybe pieces that perfectly work. I don't think that their pieces are bad now. I just think that they could get pieces that work a little better, maybe a little more perfect. I mean, you got two crazy, cold generational talents playing with each other, but I'm not sold on them making it. So let me give you my actual top three. My top three is the top three. I think the Nuggets are. I'm not going to disrespect the Spurs, but they are resemblance of the Spurs. Dominant center, does his job, goes above and beyond, kind of sneaks past the media. It's not like Shaq where it's polarizing, where it's like, man, we've never seen nothing like this. Jokic is doing things that Shaq could never. And nobody cares compared to when Shaq was breaking rims, which we weren't even born for. But we know Shaq was so polarizing. Like, we remember Shaq when he was 400 pounds on the Celtics, right? Where he could barely move. And we still knew that Shaq was just, like, unbelievable. Jokic, he slips in the background. You know who else used to do stuff like that? Tim Duncan, a guy who's played in both of those eras. So I'm like, shout out to Tim Duncan. I do think that they give me like very Spurs energies, whereas like they could take it. Everybody's not gonna really care. The fans are really gonna care of those the Nuggets. I think the Nuggets are literally 1 through 3. They could be 1, they could be 2, they could be 3, just like the Spurs were every single year. With that being said, the Rockets are in the same position the Nuggets were in about 5 years ago, where they were young, they were great, but they didn't know how to beat certain teams. So when Anthony Davis hit buckets on Jokic to advance to the finals in COVID, when the next year they were like 1 or 2 seed, and I think they lost to the Warriors. The next year, championship. Guess what? Who's also like that? The Thunder. The Thunder were in the same position. Best team in the league. Knocked out the playoffs. Come back. Top 1 or 2 teams. Top 1 or 3 teams. Knocked out last year, right? They who did they lose to?
Were they in the Western? No, because it was. I think
It
they
was
lost to
Timberwolves.
Dallas. They lost to Dallas.
Yep. Got knocked out by Dallas. Guess what? More veteran shit. That teams that were actually ready. This year, guess what position the Thunder might actually be in? I think it's time for them to win their championship. I don't want to see it. I don't care about it, but I do think that they've been through every single step. They've learned how to win every single game. They've learned from the games that they lost. I think they've learned from their 7-game series. I think that they have the right constructed roster. It's their year. It's their time to bridge over kind of how the Nuggets did. Yeah, I think so. So I just feel bad for the Rockets because they're in the position that the Nuggets and Thunder have been in the past 5 years. And I just think it's time for them to bridge over. So I think that the Rockets are that number 2. I don't think they make it to the Western Conference. I think they lose second round to one of these good teams, whether it be a Nuggets or a Warriors. And I do think the Thunder beat whoever's in that top 2. So, all right, moving over to the East. Give me your 3. Your 3.
Yeah, East is a simpler list. Obviously, we got the Cavs. They've just been playing really good basketball. They're kind of momentum issue, but I think they're also just trying to get healthy right before the playoffs. Celtics, again, probably one of the most balanced, well-constructed rosters. Even their bench goes crazy, so the Celtics, I think, will be the hardest team to beat in the East. And then the Knicks. Outside of that, and honestly, I'm not even too hot about the Knicks. I don't really believe in them. Like, I could see them being a second-round team, maybe a conference final, but I don't have any faith in the Knicks. I think it's going to be it's a 2-horse race in the East: Cavs, Celtics, and probably the Celtics.
So I think the Knicks, it's pretty clear, being 5 games away from each other and with only 2 weeks left. I think the Knicks can't make it to the conference. They're my number 3. They can't make it. I think this is literally listed perfect, but them being number 3, they're not going to make it against number 2, and number 2 is the Celtics. They're just not going to make it past them in the second round. Now, I think the New Yorkers are going to have it's going to be a party every single game. Hopefully they win game 1. If they win game one, they won this season because it's going to be one of the craziest parties in New York. I'm excited to see the New Yorkers pretending like they could win and then go crazy when it doesn't work out. And then they're going to blame people on the Celtics like they're ready to kill them. Like they did nothing besides play good basketball. I think the Knicks are going to be an energy team in the playoffs, but they're not going to the finals. Good team. What did I say? I thought Cat was one of the greatest signing. I thought it was an amazing trade. I think they got exactly what they wanted. They got a little more health, which I think Cat's healthy right now, right? Is Cat healthy? You gotta be careful.
Yeah, he's healthy.
Like you gotta be careful with Cat. I think the Knicks make it to the second round and get beat by my number 2 pick, which is the Celtics. The Celtics are the best team in the East, but I think I'm finally ready to put some respect on the Cavaliers' name. The Celtics are a better team, better roster, better players. I'm assuming they have better play, but I think El Boogie, I'm finally ready to put some respect on the Cavaliers' name to say they can make a finals appearance. Do I have them winning the finals? Hell no. I think every single team that could make it in the West is a better constructed team. But is this the year where they set the Celtics back and the Celtics go next year? Yes. If not, guess what? The Celtics back to back. What you think?
I think whoever wins the West is winning the finals this year.
Absolutely.
For some reason. I just feel it. I just feel it. Yeah, but I don't know. With the East again, it's pretty simple. Either it's the Celtics going again, or it's the Cavs beating the Celtics in 7 in some crazy series. I think with the story with the East is just a lot of disappointment. Honestly, seeing the Bucks with Giannis and Dame only being a 6 seed, the Sixers being eliminated from the playoffs for the first time in like 6 or 7 years, that's a disappointment. The Heat aren't relevant since they traded away Jimmy Butler. Like the East is just a bunch of disappointment, in my opinion. And it's Cavs and Celtics. They're the only shining light. Knicks are a good team, not a championship team.
Oh, this is just heartbreaking. Look at that Hornets.
Free LaMelo, man. They need to trade LaMelo.
Yeah, he needs to go to the Bulls.
Oh, with his brother? That'd be kind of hot.
They already have like a dominant a guard though, right? Yeah.
Shit, his brother.
What's the nigga's name? He's like, excuse me.
No, Zach LaVine got traded.
Is it Kobe White?
Oh, Kobe White. Yeah, he's a good point.
Oh, he goes down. He's just he's on his way up. Let's just say that. All right, yeah. The East, boo boo. Okay, so I want to finish with this point. So let's take a second and talk about Dame Dallas, and then we'll wrap up. Do you think Damian Lillard's window to win a championship in this league is over?
I at this point, I think so. Yeah, I think it's over unless he goes to a team that is already really good and he just takes them over the top. I can't really think of what would be a good landing spot. Like a really good team that doesn't have the guard solidified, like maybe the Magic. Maybe I don't know. But at this point in his career, no, I don't.
So you're giving up on him being like a starter or like a key contributor.
Oh no, he can be a starter. He can be a starter and he can be a key contributor. But as far as winning a championship, like being the reason, like all right, a good team is propelled forward. I don't think he's the same Dame of 5 years ago. I don't.
I mean, and it's hard to be, especially with this new injury. So it's very unfortunate. I think that's one of the most unfortunate things that we've seen this season. You know, as we get older, so do these players, and they're way ahead of us. So seeing all those amazing years he's put in, all those crazy numbers, it all comes to an end. I just wish he made a different career move earlier and didn't try so hard to win one with the Blazers, which he got close, but he never got to having a decent enough team to even compete in some of those.
Great career, got paid. Sometimes it's how it crumbles, man.
Absolutely. But I think that about wraps up another edition of L Boogie and the Bell. L Boogie, if you could take us out.
Appreciate y'all tuning in to El Boogie and the Bell. Make sure to leave a like, leave a comment. Check out the full video on YouTube. Check out the clips on TikTok. Let us know we're right. Let us know where we're wrong. Let us know where A Bell is wrong, because that Shador Sanders to the Patriots take was insane. But anyway, we appreciate y'all, and we'll catch y'all here next time.
Tom Brady, number 2.